Well, good morning. Welcome to our Monday morning trading room. Hang on here 1 second. Let me get the screen share started. Hope everyone had a nice weekend. Mine seems so short again. I hate busy weekends. And yet that's exactly what it was, another busy weekend. All right, quick little recap of where we've been. This was Friday session. We had the rather strong move lower out of the open. And then the market did recover through most of the morning and the afternoon, finishing pretty much where they began. So a very neutral day overall. Here's kind of the pre-market Monday morning. So we're at the possibly top end of a bigger trading range, with the bottom end of the trading range somewhere around the 68.10 zone. And we're getting some early signals to sell here on the Hawk Scalper. We've got the first micro macro cross to sell. The Falcon Swing Trader has a trend change signal piggybacking on a late filter entry signal. And well, technically we have a rule of 3 signal here in the Eagle. So also a counter trend signal to short in the Eagle. And here on the Raptor, a little bit of a mess. Things looking a little bit more sideways on the Raptor, but we've also got the cloud crossover signal. We're only a couple minutes into the day, and there's no rush. Well, at least I don't believe there's a rush. I know some of you have the nerve to take these early signals, and good for you, because very often you'll get some early momentum, or at least that's what we've been seeing, early momentum out of the market. I may choose to wait just a little bit. You could do it if you're anxious on getting in on a trade. You could do the second push entry. The second push simply means we allow the signal to engage. We see where the market retreats. So we know selling below that 68.34 area is going to require some new bearish momentum. So you could park an order there and just look for the market to fall off. Like I say, it's still early. I'm not sure I would go in with 2 orders. I might consider it with a single. Well, here, let's do that. I'll place that order, just park it and wait. We're back into the hard edge where we would anticipate a reaction. Not getting one just yet. And just adding to the sideways nature of the market, now we're getting a first micro macro cross higher. So there was enough of a move lower here to capitalize on the scalp in the Hawk. Now we're getting a buy signal from the Hawk. The Falcon also starting to turn over a little bit. So I'm going to close this order out. Things just a little bit messy at the moment. And now a crossover buy here forming on the hawk. So we're getting a bit of a mixed bag. I may sit on my hands a few minutes more just to see. Let's shoot a trend line across the top here, see where it falls. So it looks like somewhere around the 68.48 area, we might hit a little bit of a bearish trend line. And we'll see. Okay, the Falcon also producing a trend change signal now to buy. And I'm just looking for this second push opportunity, especially given that there's a trend line above us here, that one that I just drew. So it would be nice to see a little bit of a reaction. There we go. Now we can set up to buy a breakout higher. Again, it's still a little bit early. I don't think I would be prepared to go in with too heavy on this trade, but if the market chooses to break above here, I might be persuaded to try to take a buy. Maybe get it back up toward the highs on Friday. Wow, just some pretty big ranges so far with no follow through. Okay, I'm going to cancel that order. The hawk is working on a red bar buy signal. The raptor and the eagle right in the middle of the trading band. We've got ourselves an indecisive market here this morning. stock, a lot of yellow bars, printing at more or less the same price level. So that again confirms the sideways nature of the market, that we are in a chop period. The Falcon trying to do a trend change signal again. The Eagle, well, the Eagle's just sideways mess here at the moment. And the Raptor trying to produce another cloud crossover. Now, notice how we're producing all these signals here with no follow through. Little or no follow through. That should be telling you that the market is in a sideways phase. If you haven't figured it out just from the price activity itself, the simple fact that we're producing all these signals here is probably a sign that you should cool your jets for a little and just wait until we have something more definitive. All right, the buyers coming back. What time is it? Ooh, it's my least favorite time of day to trade. We're quarter to the hour. Very often the market will try to throw us a bit of a knuckleball in this neighborhood. Okay. Well, we're back near the highs of the morning. We have a very, very drawn out number one signal. With a rather protracted second push entry. Let's see if they take out the highs, whether they'll go any further. Did they slip me? No, they didn't slip. That's good. Come on, keep going. Let's get back to Friday's highs and let's see whether or not they're going to try to get any further than that. I may be happy just to take my profit target if I can get it, though. I don't know if I'm going to try to push this one too far. Getting some early resistance from the sellers. No doubt it's from, all this resistance here where the market topped out earlier. Maybe I'll bring my break even down to there. If this bar finishes on the high, it'll bring me up to break even. Sticking my toe in the water, but no follow through just yet, or very short follow through on that breakout above the high of the morning. Like I said, this is my least favorite time of the day to trade, around quarter to the hour. Those first 15 minutes in, sometimes the market does some odd things. Okay, we're getting a cloud crossover signal, hit my early break even, and come on, don't stop now. Again, some reaction to these older selling points. Oh, come on. Now that they've broken the high of the morning and this little intermediate overnight high, I'm pretty confident the market will at least get up to my profit objective, perhaps even a little bit further if you were inclined to try to run this one out. Oh, I'm so tempted. All right, here, we're gonna try to stretch this one a little bit. And so all I'm doing is I'm using the primary resistance zone as a target zone. You could place it right on the line if you wanted. I don't mind not being the last one out. I'll get my stop strategies ready. There we go. Come on. Get up there. Oh, don't make me sorry I didn't take my profit. Well, if I can hold on through this little swing that's happening, there's a chance. There's a chance the market will press a little higher still. Friday's high was 68.57. So another 5 points, give or take. Where's Ray Burke when I need him? I need him to do his little push. Here, we'll give it a little nudge with the mouse and just push it up like that. Get going. There we go. Come on, get going. You know you want to. There we go. As we get closer to the profit target, if it looks like the market's faltering, I may go to the bar high-low strategy, which is a little bit more aggressive still. The Geiger counter's been pretty strong. I'm almost wondering whether I should just eliminate my profit objective and just see how far I can take this trade. What do we think? Roll it up here? A real home run? A one and done? All right, they're starting to flinch a little bit as we get to Friday's highs, which were 68.57. I think I'm going to go into my bar high-low mode and protect at least some of this profit. if anybody did buy on the other side of 68.57, where Friday's high is, we would probably start to see a lot more volatility come into the market. It could be a little bit of a quick uptick as some of those sell orders would get engaged. All right, we're getting closer. Let's see. There's 56.25. Oh, there we go. And there's a little blowback from the move through Friday's high as sellers kind of jump on board. I'm curious, my parabolics would have been right here. Would the parabolic stop have kept me in the trade? Or was I better off just grabbing the open profit while I had it? We'll know here in a moment. Excuse me. So I do believe there is a parabolic dot right below here, below that low. And yeah, it looks like I would have got stopped out regardless, but that's okay. It was a good little trade. Not a bad way to start the day. Now we wait. There were some good follow-up signals on the other tools as well. About the same time we got the number one signal, the Hawk producing the first micro-macro cross signal. The Falcon also producing a trend change signal. The Eagle honestly would not have been an easy signal to take. In hindsight, you can see it was a red bar buy. But when all this was forming, no, the Eagle not really giving you a clear signal that you could capitalize on. The other tools, however, were a little bit more in tune with what the market was doing. All right, and a little more selling going on at Friday's highs, which shouldn't be a big surprise. Joel says not a good month for shorting. No, it's not. It hasn't been a good month for shorting. In fact, anytime I've tried to short the stock market longer term, it does not work out. Joel just sent me a little screenshot here of the NASDAQ. Is this, yeah, this must be a daily. And everybody knows, I made no secret of it, I was looking to get short around the end of last year, around Christmas time. But nope, the market did not fall. Still very, very strong. A lot of people are wondering how. How can it still be so strong? But the how is not as important. Oh, sorry, Joel, that was a monthly chart, he said. Julian says, FYI, the market is up, but only large sellers so far. Okay. Well, we'll see. Like I said, we're back near Friday's highs, so no surprise that the sellers are stepping up off Friday's highs, which is what they did earlier. I might be on hold here for a little bit until I get something a little bit more inviting. There is a macro pullback signal here on the hawk. Not a lot of structure for this trade though. So even though here's the macro pullback, and even though it's just a scalp that I'm looking for, I'm not really sure where I should place my stop. When I'm at a total loss, very often I'll look at where the macro line crests, and that would be right there. But I may wait for a little bit more. A little more inviting setup, perhaps. I do think the market owes me a retest of the 68.58 high. So I think we should see a retest up here and maybe another failure. You can see the Falcon working a late filter entry signal. So the Falcon's still fairly bullish. There's a little uptick now. Ooh, big follow through. As the buyers squash a few premature sellers. Okay, well, let's rewind that chart. I'll take that macro pullback signal. Look at it go. Whew. Okay, well, we're still kind of holding up at this secondary resistance line, which, by the way, was my original home run target. So, but I wasn't able to hang on through that little swing there. That's all right. Next time I make a note in my trading journal. Next time maybe we'll try to hold on a little bit longer. Oops. All right, well, just sitting and waiting. Another little bit of a breakout higher. I think it's fairly obvious we are in an uptrend right now. Oh, way to go. Joel says, Joel's a stock trader. He says, I'm making progress in stocks with the Raptor. He's following the TQs, which is the triple times Qs, or the NASDAQ stock version, ETF version. Okay, well, like I said, a little bit on hold now that we've had that big move higher. That's very much like a breakout move. The thing with breakout moves is sometimes you just need to take the chance and punch in. Here we're getting a follow-up signal. The trend is obviously up. So you would just look, you could just buy blindly. The problem I always have with that is, where do I place my stop? Obviously, I can't put my stop right there. That's just a little bit too tight. Here's the signal printing. The signal will print on this bar. Just have warning dots at the moment. But even placing my signal below this little swing, in hindsight, it may end up working out, but right now I don't know that. So where do I place my initial stop? Way down here, at least to the hard edge. And that's pretty much at my limit. Just makes me a little nervous knowing that I could get in here, have the market come all the way back for a hard edge bounce before the next rally up. For me, I'd rather wait for the next rally up. Hey, way to go, Steve. Steve says, great day trading. I'm even profitable. Well, that always makes it more interesting, doesn't it? Hey, way to go, Julian. Julian says, I'm still long from 68.41. Nicely done. That's right at the beginning of the run this morning. Way to go. Okay, a little bit of a sideways market for a few bars here. It's to be anticipated. We have moved, two full zones on that last breakout. These support and resistance zones. Very often when the market moves two zones, you'll see it hit a little bit of a sideways drift, maybe even a reversal. Not going to call for a big reverse today. As the market is obviously in an uptrend. Might see some profit taking though. Steve says, this year I've changed my theme from one good trade to make the market prove itself. That was early on. I remember the anonymous trader who called himself Phantom of the Pits. That was his number one rule. Always make the market prove itself. He always assumed he was wrong on a trade unless the market proved him right. Then he would stay with it, and only then. We could be waiting here for a little while until we get something like a hard edge bounce, or, well, the hawk may be producing a 4-arrow consolidation. That might be something we could get on board with. Frank adds, I like that thinking, meaning to make the market prove itself. I've changed to waiting for it to go through a buy stop order. Yeah, a lot of traders, when they get into trading, they get taught to use limit orders. And limit orders are great, but limit orders are also really predictive. People come to the markets thinking they're going to predict where the market's going to go next. And that's not the mindset you want to have. Trading is, I believe, more reactionary, reacting to what the market is doing versus trying to predict what it will do. Now, predicting is not quite the same as anticipating. So here we've got a market that's had a pretty big run up. It's obviously moving sideways a little bit slower. We've got an extended trading band. I might anticipate a number 2 signal, a counter trend signal. See a little bit of a retest here of the high and a failure. That would produce a number 2 signal. I can anticipate that the market may fail at this point and produce a selling opportunity without actually predicting. The market will go lower from here and automatically start selling or sell on a limit. Shorting this market should be done with caution anyhow. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of a move here back to the hard edge. In fact, I think I would welcome it. We even have the market in a little bit, you might say, between a rock and a hard place. We could look to buy a breakout above the high, and we could look to sell right here. We've got ourselves in a little bit of a sideways trading range. All right, so better get a stop in play. give it a couple of ticks below there. Let's see where my ATR would be at. Yeah, that's where my ATR is. Things a little bit quiet now. Julian says, my philosophy is go with the flow and do not watch profits, only points. Yeah, I can't even watch the points. I just like to blank out my P&L. I don't like to see the numbers go by. I don't like to see the points tick by either. Come on, get up there, you stinkers. We're struggling. Come on. No! Darn it. They're going to tap me out. I don't want to jinx myself, but I haven't had a losing trade this year yet. I don't want this to be the first. I kind of like the idea of having winning trades. I was going to see if I could go the whole month of January without picking a stinker. Oh, come on, get up there. Get up there. Give me a chance to get to the break-even mark. We're waffling a little bit too much here. Obviously, I'm not giving this trade a whole lot of wiggle room. The reason is if it falls below 68.75, the retracement will be substantial. Like I say, maybe even back here to the hard edge. So there's no way I want to risk that much on this trade. Oh, come on. Somebody take the other side of the 68.81 line. Come on. Where's Tony when I need him? I need him to put his 10,000 orders in and give the market a bit of a shot in the arm. Come on, get up there. What time is it? Oh, 7:30. 10:30 in the east. There could be a little profit taking. Usually an hour into the session, the market will sometimes reverse on itself a little bit. I'm going to bring my break even in on the high of this bar. Come on. Well, good news is it's not going to be a losing trade. So, whew. Julian's asking where am I located. I am on sometimes sunny Vancouver Island here in the Pacific Northwest on the Pacific time zone, of course. Not going to be a sunny day today, though. We are in for some rain today, which is typical for our winters. Still better than snow in my books. I grew up in the prairies. I'm very familiar with snow and cold. Ah, Julian down in Palm Springs. We have friends, snowbirds, wintering in Palm Springs, and we've actually been thinking about going down to see them for a week. And Julian says there was some active buying at 68.84. That's good. Gave us a little bit of a shot in the arm there. And got a little bit of a bullish push. What have I got here for open profit? How aggressive do I want to be? Okay, I want to be a little bit more aggressive, I think. I'll go back with the bar high low. There we go. I'm going to hold on to some of this. I worked too hard to let that one get away. Got to take at least a few dollars out of this one. Okay, well, there we go. A little bit of beer money. It wasn't a huge trade, but we did pick up a couple of dollars on it. And now the market's starting to go sideways again. So The buying seems to be tailing off, and the sellers, I don't know if the sellers are going to really jump on the market. It is such a strong market. What is most likely to happen is that we're going to enter a bit of a sideways trading range today after that substantial run up earlier. Just thinking about Palm Springs, I think I still have my BevMo card somewhere. That was a very interesting liquor store. The size of a Costco. All right, so yeah, things starting to slow a little bit. And you see, if we play the little bit of a connect the dot with the highs, you can see that we're starting to get maybe lose some of that momentum. Certainly if we get a lower peak here now, that's going to set us up for a possible counter trend, a number 2 signal. And again, the target would be the hard edge. Not looking for a major retrace, but it's certainly possible that the market could try to normalize a little bit. Let's see. Goodness knows it's had a very strong run up so far. One thing, just thinking about Palm Springs again, last time I was there, one thing I found odd was that pets were allowed in the lounge. we were staying at the Hyatt, and I remember when I was checking in, there was a woman beside me with a baby stroller, like one of those baby strollers for twins. And I thought, oh, how nice, family checking in. But she had her 2 dogs in there. And then later I saw them in the lounge, her with her 2 dogs, which I thought was a little unusual. Julian says there's pets everywhere. You can't take, just so you guys know, when you come to Canada, you got to leave the dog in the car when you go into the pub. I thought it was kind of funny. Or I suppose you could put one of those seeing eye dog vests on, on your little chihuahua. I don't know if anybody will buy it, but there you go. The hawk drifting a little bit, kind of confirming what we're seeing. Overall, though, trend still up. And what I'm looking for is for it to falter a little bit here. Okay, they're starting to get a little bit weaker. Ah, yes, Julian, I forgot about that. Julian says therapy dogs, you can take them anywhere. That's right. Yeah, you could probably take your therapy dog into the pub here. Somebody, I'm sure, would stop you, but that's right. I forgot about the therapy dogs. All right, here we go. We got ourselves a test of the extreme. No sell signal yet. We're still producing buy warning dots. And it's not something I'm going to get too anxious on. Like I said, the trend obviously up. The safer plan in my book is to actually, if the market is going to retrace, look for a hard edge bounce. Look for the market to come back here to the hard edge and then give us a little bit of a uptick. Look for the market to try to resume that trend. This is what, the second time now that the market has made a little bit of a lower swing. It's recovered. We had a lower swing going on here, but it recovered. We had, so third time, had a lower swing here, but the market recovered. So this is now the third attempt at a lower swing. And we're definitely in a sideways drift. Yeah, I'm getting dog stories from people now. Frank says, I've had a rum and coke with my German Shepherd. She liked it, but was not sure what was happening. When we had a poodle, she would occasionally drink some wine, but that was just when she was really young, like a year or two. She'd have take a couple laps of wine, but after she got a little older, she didn't want anything to do with that. I don't know if she actually had a hangover. Come on, markets. We enjoyed some early volatility, and now we're just nothing. Well, they're thinking about it, but no commitment. I would not consider this, even though it may work out as such, I would not consider this a 4-arrow consolidation in the hawk. The reason is we're getting too many sideways consolidations. So we've got this one here, we've got this one here, we've got this one here. A 4-arrow consolidation typically has a bull or bear flag shape to it. I would have even considered this, even though it was a macro pullback, you could have considered this a 4-arrow consolidation as well, even though it only printed 3 arrows. So in your downtrend, your 4-arrow consolidation is going to be like this. You know, you're going to produce your 4 signals, and you're going to look for that 4th signal to actually have some follow through to it. And in an uptrend, ideally, they're going to look like this. It is acceptable to have it sideways. Doggone it, stop that. The ones I find are the most problematic, however, are the ones that have a little bit of an upward or downward drift to them. Stupid computer. So these, even though very often they will work out to be a decent 4-arrow consolidation, those are the tough ones to call. And then, of course, when you're printing too much of any signal, if you're getting four arrow consolidation, four arrow consolidation, four arrow consolidation, you don't want to be printing too many of the same signal. Same thing with macro pullbacks or first micro macro crosses or whatever. It goes back to what I was saying the other day, where you need to take your trades in context, right? You want to try to look at the whole chart, not just the last 3 or 4 bars. Oh, I'm with you. Julian says if we get past 68.88 I'm looking at 6,900. You know, we're so close to 7,000 now. You know, traders are wondering, when are we going to see 7,000? There's no denying the strong uptrend that we're in. So still getting a lot of green warning dots. No sell signal just yet, but we keep holding the high. We keep retesting. A short signal that comes through here will send the market back here to the hard edge. So a move back to around 68.70 does seem likely. Yeah, Julian says probably 7,000 this week. Certainly if this keeps up. Okay, the seller's getting a little more aggressive, maybe. The filter here on the Falcon out of sync. We're getting some red warning dots. Oh, you heard it here first, folks. Julian says Friday at 5:30 a.m. a push to 7,000 after the GDP news. That's his guesstimate. Oh, sorry, her guess. Sorry, Julian, you have one of those unisex names. Well, could we be any more sideways? I don't think so. Nobody's wanting to sell, nobody's wanting to buy. time to check your email so you don't do anything stupid. Julian says she's got her stop now at 82 for 40 points. And there's that soft edge sell. It developed really, really quick. We knew it was coming, but there it is all the same. And like I said, it's maybe not your best opportunity, but it does seem as though the market should come down here to the hard edge of the trading band. And that may be the way the market wants to finish off the morning. There is a second push opportunity on this one now, so the signal has engaged. We can see where it's retreated. But overall, like I said, the trend is up, and you don't want to necessarily get too crazy on the short side. I'll set this up just so we can watch it. I'm not going to do it because I'm a chicken. Maybe we won't even get that. Maybe the market is just going to close on the high. We have seen momentum drain out of the market as the morning goes on. That's nothing new. Julian's out of her trade. Well done, Julian. That's definitely a home run. Wait, hats off to you. You deserve a round of applause for that one. Nicely done. There they go. They're slowly drifting. Yes, I'm with you. Julian says, I love these Days, nice long trend, but they're few and far between. Yes, they are. About once a month or so, every 3 weeks, we see a nice, really good trending day. The rest of the time, we're kind of fighting it out. Well, looks like that's going to be the morning. If you're going to hang around and trade this afternoon, folks, I think you want to stay long as much as possible. I don't think you want to get too crazy on the short side. I would anticipate anything around the 68, 70 area to be a very good buying opportunity. And just the overall market's reluctance to head any lower today, I think we're going to see it close reasonably strong. But you're going to have to be a little bit picky because the market volume, I'm sure, has declined considerably since the open. There we go. Looks like they're going to drift down. We're at the first hard edge now where there might be a reaction. And then certainly if we get to the second hard edge, we can probably anticipate a bounce. Okay then. Well, let's do it all again tomorrow. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Talk to you then. Bye for now.